elderly Iraq War veteran stands before Judge Caprio, visibly confused and alone. He's facing a traffic citation he doesn't fully understand. No lawyer by his side, no family present, just a trembling 72-year-old man who once served his nation and now stands defenseless before the law. Judge Caprio examines the case file, notices the veteran's military background, and makes a choice that stuns the entire courtroom. He reaches for the phone and dials his son. "David, I need you to come to the courthouse immediately. There's a veteran here who needs legal help, but can't afford representation. Can you make it in 20 minutes? What follows, when Judge Caprio's son arrives and offers free defense to this aging veteran, becomes one of the most heartfelt moments ever witnessed in that courtroom. Stay till the end, because this story reminds us that some things in life rise above rules, systems, and professional limits. Don't forget to subscribe and share your city in the comments, and this is one you'll want others to see. It's Wednesday morning, 10:30 a.m. The bailiff calls out, Case 14205, Harold Walsh, failure to yield, Route 6. An elderly man slowly makes his way to the podium, leaning on a walker. He's wearing a faded Iraq War veteran's cap, neatly pressed khaki pants, and a button-up shirt that's seen better days, but remains spotless. His hands tremble as he holds the citation. Judge Caprio looks up and immediately notices. This man isn't being defiant. He's simply trying to understand. "Good morning, sir. Your name?" "Harold. Harold Walsh, Your Honor," he replies, his voice unsteady. "I'm sorry. I'm a bit nervous. That's all right. Mr. Walsh, take your time," the judge says gently. "You've been cited for failure to yield at an intersection. Do you understand the charge?" Harold squints down at the ticket, struggling to read. I think so. The officer said I didn't stop when I was supposed to. But, Your Honor, I did stop. I always do. I'm very careful when I drive." Judge Caprio's expression softens. "Mr. Walsh, are you here alone today?" "Yes, sir," Harold answers quietly. "My wife passed away 3 years ago. My daughter lives in California. She wanted to come, but she couldn't afford the plane ticket right now." "I see. Do you have legal representation, an attorney?" Harold looks puzzled, a lawyer. "No, sir, I didn't know I needed one. The notice just said to appear in court. I thought I could come and explain what happened." His voice trails off. Judge Caprio studies the citation more carefully. Then he notices something. The officer's notes say the defendant appeared confused at the scene, possibly disoriented. There's also a medical note. Driver mentioned PTSD and TBI during Stop the Phone call. "David, come now, Mr. Walsh, may I ask about your military service?" Harold straightens a bit, a flicker of pride cutting through the uncertainty. "Yes, sir. United States Army. 2 tours in Iraq, 2003 and 2005, combat engineer. I'm 72 now, but I served my country when she needed me." "Thank you for your service, Mr. Walsh." Judge Caprio's tone is sincere. "The report says you mentioned PTSD and a traumatic brain injury. Is that correct?" Harold's pride fades to vulnerability. "Yes, sir. I was injured in an IED explosion in Fallujah. I have some memory problems, and loud noises make me, well, I get confused." The officer was very kind. He didn't raise his voice or anything. "Mr. Walsh, this citation carries potential penalties, including fines and points on your license. Considering your medical condition and the situation, I believe you should have proper legal representation to present your case." Harold's shoulders sink. "Your Honor, I'm on a fixed income, just veterans' benefits and Social Security. I can't afford a lawyer. I'll pay whatever fine you believe is fair. I don't want to cause any trouble." That's when Judge Caprio makes his decision. Without hesitation, he picks up his phone right there on the bench. The courtroom watches in silence, confused. Judges don't usually make personal calls during hearings. He dials a number and waits. "David, it's Dad. Are you at the office? Good, I need you to come to the courthouse right away. I have a veteran here. An elderly Iraq War vet suffering from PTSD and a traumatic brain injury. He has no legal representation and doesn't fully understand the traffic charge against him. Can you be here in 20 minutes? Perfect. Courtroom 3, thank you, son." He ends the call. Harold looks at him, unsure of what just happened. "Mr. Walsh," Judge Caprio says gently, "I just called my son David. He's an attorney here in Providence. He's on his way to represent you pro bono. That means free of charge. You won't owe him anything. Harold's eyes immediately fill with tears. Your Honor, I can't let you do that. Not with your own son. You didn't ask, Mr. Walsh, Caprio replies. I'm offering. You served this country in combat and were injured defending our freedom. The least we can do is ensure you have proper legal representation in this courtroom. Harold begins to cry openly, unable to hold back. I don't know what to say. Just say you'll wait 20 minutes for David to arrive. We'll recess your case until then. Bailiff, please help Mr. Walsh to the front row so he can sit comfortably. The bailiff assists Harold to a seat. The courtroom remains completely silent. Only the soft sound of Harold's quiet sobs and the occasional sniffle from the audience can be heard. An older woman in the back stands up. Your Honor, may I say something? Judge Caprio nods. My husband served in Vietnam. He had PTSD too. He passed away 5 years ago. What you just did for that veteran, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed in a courtroom. God bless you. She sits down crying softly. Several others in the gallery wipe their eyes. Exactly 22 minutes later, the courtroom door opens. A man in his 40s enters the courtroom, dressed in a sharp suit and carrying a briefcase. His posture is confident and professional. He is David Caprio, the judge's son. Approaching Harold, he extends his hand with genuine warmth. Mr. Walsh, I'm David Caprio. My father asked me to represent you today. It's an honor to assist a veteran. Harold rises slowly, struggling a bit as he shakes David's hand, tears still in his eyes. I can't afford to pay you, he says softly. David responds kindly. You've already paid, sir, with 2 tours in Iraq and injuries that still affect your daily life. That's more than enough payment for any lawyer. Subscribe to Judge Stories if you believe our veterans deserve more than we can ever repay. David then spends about 15 minutes with Harold at the defense table. He carefully reviews the citation and asks thoughtful questions about the incident, Harold's medical condition, his driving history, and current medications. When ready, he stands and addresses the court. Your Honor. He pauses, smiles faintly, and corrects himself. Your Honor, may I present Mr. Walsh's defense? Judge Caprio smiles warmly. Proceed, Counselor. David begins. Your Honor, there are several key facts the court should consider regarding Mr. Walsh's case. First, his service record. Mr. Walsh completed 2 combat tours in Iraq as a combat engineer, one of the most hazardous roles in modern warfare. His duties included detecting and disabling IEDs. Second, his injuries. In 2005, during an explosion in Fallujah, Mr. Walsh suffered a traumatic brain injury. The blast threw him nearly 12 feet. He spent 6 weeks in the hospital and continues to struggle with memory problems, occasional disorientation, and one severe PTSD, especially triggered by loud noises. Third, his driving history. Mr. Walsh has been a licensed driver for 54 years and has maintained an excellent record. This is his first citation in over a decade, his last being a mall parking ticket in 2013 Embraer. Not a moving violation, but a simple oversight. He's an exceptionally cautious driver precisely because he understands his own limitations. David presents several documents. Your Honor, I have here Mr. Walsh's VA medical records showing continuous treatment for traumatic brain injury, TBI, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Also included is his neurologist's statement explaining that stress or sudden events can cause brief disorientation, along with witness statements from the intersection where the incident took place. Judge Caprio reviews the materials David provides. Your Honor, David continues. 3 independent witnesses at the scene confirm that Mr. Walsh came to a full stop at the intersection. However, a nearby truck suddenly backfired. The loud noise startled Mr. Walsh, a well-documented PTSD trigger, causing him to pause for several seconds before proceeding. The officer mistook this hesitation for failure to yield, but it was in fact a trauma response. Tears stream down Harold's face as he listens. For the first time, someone is telling his story accurately. David continues, Mr. Walsh was neither reckless nor negligent. He experienced a medical reaction caused by combat-related trauma sustained in service to this country. Punishing him for that would be deeply unfair. Additionally, Your Honor, Mr. Walsh relies entirely on veterans' benefits and Social Security, totaling about $1,800 per month. Any fine or rise in insurance premiums would impose serious financial hardship. He already struggles to pay for his prescribed medications. Judge Caprio listens carefully. Everyone in the courtroom can see he already intends to show compassion toward the veteran. But watching his son present such a professional and heartfelt argument adds further significance to the moment. Your Honor, David concludes, I respectfully request full dismissal of this citation based on Mr. Walsh's medical condition, his outstanding driving history, and his honorable service to our nation. Alternatively, if the court believes a formal decision is necessary, I respectfully request a deferred judgment. Provided that Mr. Walsh completes a senior driver safety course, I will personally cover the cost and arrange his transportation. David returns to his seat. Harold reaches for his hand, squeezing it tightly, unable to speak. Judge Caprio pauses briefly before addressing the court. When he finally speaks, his voice carries a deep sense of emotion. Mr. Walsh, please stand. Harold slowly rises to his feet, with David assisting him. Mr. Walsh, I've reviewed the citation, the officer's report, the witness statements, and the medical documentation your attorney, he glances warmly at David, has provided. First, I want to acknowledge your service. You were a combat engineer in Iraq. Do you understand what that represents to those of us who haven't served? It means you volunteered for one of the most dangerous duties in modern warfare. While many soldiers faced the risk of encountering IEDs, you deliberately sought them out. You placed yourself between those explosives and your fellow soldiers. That's an act of exceptional bravery. Harold begins to cry again, and many in the courtroom follow. Second, the injuries you suffered, a traumatic brain injury caused by an IED explosion, don't simply go away. That's a lasting sacrifice you made for your country. The PTSD, the memory challenges, and the confusion brought on by sudden loud noises are all part of the continuing toll of your service. You're still carrying the burden of protecting others. Finally, regarding this citation, after carefully reviewing all evidence, I conclude that your failure to yield was not due to negligence or recklessness. You experienced a medical episode, a trauma response brought on by a loud noise your mind connected to combat. That's not a traffic offense. It's a war-related condition surfacing in civilian life. Judge Caprio's tone grows firm. Therefore, this citation is dismissed entirely. You owe nothing. No fine, no penalty points, and no record of this matter. Harold breaks down in tears as David gently places a hand on his shoulder. Mr. Walsh, the judge continues, I'm also taking an additional step. I'm issuing a court order to have this citation fully expunged from all records. Not merely dismissed, but erased, as though it never took place. You've earned a completely clean slate. He pauses, then adds, furthermore, I'm instructing the court to send a formal letter to the Providence Police Department, commending Officer. He glances at the paperwork. Officer Martinez for his patience and understanding during the stop. His report reflects true compassion and professionalism, qualities that should be recognized. The courtroom bursts into applause, with many people rising to their feet. Harold trembles, still emotional, supported by David's arm around him. Judge Caprio isn't done. Mr. Walsh, my son informed me that you're facing financial hardship, relying on veterans' benefits and Social Security. That troubles me deeply. After everything you've given, you should never have to endure such difficulty. I'll personally reach out to the Rhode Island Veterans Affairs Office and several local veterans organizations on your behalf. They can offer financial aid, medical care, and other essential support services to ensure you get the help you deserve. My clerk will provide you with the contact information before you leave today. Harold tries to respond but cannot speak. He simply stands there, tears streaming down his face. Mr. Walsh, you arrived here today alone and uncertain and anxious. You believed you'd be fine handling this yourself. Instead, I hope you leave understanding that this community and this courtroom deeply respects your service. You are not alone. When you needed help, we were here for you. Judge Caprio's voice trembles slightly as he continues. My son and I grew up knowing that freedom comes at a cost. Men like you paid for our comfort with your blood, your injuries, and your lasting pain. Dismissing a traffic ticket is the very least we can do. Truly, the least. After court, Harold approaches Judge Caprio and his son David, trying to express his gratitude but struggling to form words through emotion. Your Honor, I came here expecting to lose my license, thinking I couldn't afford the fine. Instead, you gave me your son. You gave me dignity. You gave me. He stops, overcome. Judge Caprio steps down from the bench, something he rarely does, and embraces Harold. Mr. Walsh, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. And thank you for still standing strong despite everything you've faced. David adds, Mr. Walsh, here's my card. My direct number is on the back. If you ever need legal help of any kind, call me, day or night. You're family now. An elderly man from the gallery walks forward. Mr. Walsh, I'm Robert Chen, Marine Corps, Desert Storm. I saw what the judge did for you today. We have a veterans group that meets every Tuesday at the VFW Hall. We'd be honored to have you join us. You shouldn't be alone. A woman nearby adds, Mr. Walsh, I run a nonprofit that assists veterans with medication and medical costs. Please let me take your information and we can help. Harold stands surrounded by people offering compassion, resources and friendship, no longer alone, but supported by a community that cares. The video of the courtroom hearing goes viral. Messages pour in from across the globe. A judge asks his own son to represent a veteran. People call it a true act of honor. This is America at its finest. I'm crying at work. That veteran truly deserved that. Compassion. 6 months later, Harold writes a letter to Judge Caprio. Your Honor, you saved my life that day, not just from a ticket, but from loneliness and hopelessness. I've joined a local veterans group and finally have friends. Your son helped me receive VA benefits I didn't even know I qualified for. I'm not alone anymore. God bless you and your family. Harold Walsh, U.S. Army, Iraq veteran. Judge Caprio frames the letter beside one from Father Maston's mother in his chambers. Reminders of why this work matters. Subscribe to Judge Stories for moments when justice goes beyond the law. When a judge calls his own son to stand up for a veteran, and when honor takes precedence over procedure, Harold Walsh entered court alone and uncertain. He left supported and respected, his fine dismissed, his dignity renewed and his service finally acknowledged, the way it always should have been. Judge Caprio showed that sometimes rules can yield to what's morally right, that asking your son to defend a veteran isn't favoritism, it's patriotism, that justice should recognize sacrifice, not compound it. This is what happens when a judge looks past confusion and sees a hero who once served his country. When professional formality gives way to compassion, and when one simple call, David, I need you to come defend a veteran, changes a life. Harold earned his defense on the streets of Fallujah. He just waited 17 years to receive it. Comment below and share if you believe our veterans deserve every measure of respect.